be fair.
Can we all agree?
Leah, you're starting to do a lot of talking as well, for fuck's sake, Jesus Christ.
What are you on about?
You're the fucking spokesperson, suddenly you haven't fucking spoke for about 4 weeks.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you don't know this beat, it's your girl KylerB coming out with a new video. Today we're going to be talking about Love Island Season 10, Episode 30. This was the movie night episode. And let me just get right into the video because we just need to get right into it. Yeah. So this episode basically starts off with giving Mitchell and Abby a date. So they did. The date was, nice, sweet. We're kind of glad that Mitchell has somebody in here for him. He's been waiting weeks for somebody like Abby. He's just so glad that he actually can make a connection, because Molly basically shut him off after 3 days and moved to Zach. After Molly figured out that, everybody was saying that they're closed off, she was just like, let's open this back up. And Mitchell never been in a proper, coupling since then, So we had this Mitchell and Abby date. It is what it is. They get back to the villa. Next thing you know, they get a text, and it's movie night. They're all getting ready. We hear Ella basically tell Ty, because Ty asked her, did you kiss anybody? And she's like, no, and not outside of the challenges. That's what's being said. So, she was just like, I didn't kiss anyone. But obviously we know about this little bed situation, which it was claimed to say that, Uzi kissed Ella on the cheek. But that movie clip sound like a little bit more, because a cheek kiss does not deserve all them sounds. We didn't need all those sounds for a cheek kiss. But Uzi backed her when it, in the movie night. He was just like, yeah, he was just giving her a kiss tonight, But yeah, it's movie night. It is what it is. And I want to tell you about the movie night. Movie night was very much anticlimactic. There wasn't really any big arguments. And the only big argument I want us to talk about, quote unquote, is when Scott literally clocked Leah. He told her, you haven't spoke for 4 weeks, but now you want to pipe up? Pipe down. Why are you speaking up? And the thing is that we're getting to the meat and potatoes of this whole situation. They saw Scott's movie clip. So they showed 2 scenes with him and Catherine. I guess he was talking to Catherine, and then they showed him kissing Catherine, and then they showed him during Castlemore when he's like, he woke up and he missed Catherine a bit, but then as soon as the new girls come in, he might not. And it was a joke. But obviously what they did, they cut it off before he said he was joking.
We won't. My man is ruthless.
It's because he didn't get the girls. That's clearly what it was, isn't it? I stayed loyal. Why you didn't?
Catherine, I was stood there alone. You weren't.
Wait, didn't you try it with all the girls?
Please.
And you see all the girls were shook. They were giving the biggest reaction to that scene. I'm just like, if you would have known that he said he was joking directly right after it. He just said he was joking. It wasn't even bad. But the producers, they really messed it up, because they should have showed him actually trying to get along, or not get along, but speaking to Gabby and other people in the villa during Castlemore to let it show that he still actually liked Catherine. Because all that showed was that basically he played Catherine, or he just didn't really care about Catherine or something like that. He literally just joked and said, oh, I miss Catherine, but a little bit, but as soon as the new girls come in, I might not. And then he said he was joking. And then they all being like, oh. So it basically affirms their theory that he was being a player, he didn't like Catherine, which is not even true. But the producers are wicked for that. Very wicked. So after Scott's video, they showed Catherine's video. And in Catherine's video, they basically showed her with Elam kissing him and all that, and then basically showed the girls basically hyping up her and Elam's connection, basically saying, oh, he's well suited for you, this and that. He's well suited, he's better suited for you. So tell me why, everybody was cheering after they ended off with her and Elon.
Laughing at my boy's downfall. Alright. Imagine that was
That's
the other way around.
fucking nah.
Imagine that was the other way around.
Innit?
Wow.
She's happy with Ellen. You saw it.
Yeah, clearly.
So like, she has a good
I actually
connection.
don't have an issue with what's just gone on, to be fair.
Tell me why the girls, after I think Scott or whatever, they were like, oh, he didn't find nobody in Casa. Nobody in Casa liked him, so that's why he didn't bring Lily back. He didn't say loyal just because he liked me. That's what basically Catherine was saying. And then you hear, yeah, nobody liked you from Leah and Katie.
Didn't you try it with all the girls?
Yeah.
Wanted it.
Apparently none of the girls wanted you, that's why.
End of. They didn't want you. Okay.
No, it wasn't that though.
Oh, whoa.
Catherine.
No, Catherine.
It's not a matter of none of the girls wanted me, so I didn't do anything about it.
Oh, here we go with the justification.
Katie said louder than Leah, but Leah was saying it, nobody liked you. And Katie was like, she made it louder. So Scott clapped back and said like, yo, he wasn't even fazed by the whole clips. He just didn't like the fact that people were saying nobody liked you. And he was telling the girls, like, that's not even true. Like, that's not even true. Like, I think somebody even in my comments were like, oh, nobody likes Scott. And you'd understand that even Gabby and I think another girl liked Scott. But if Scott put in more effort to get to know the girls during Casa Amor, he would have. And the thing about it, and when you are at Casa Amor, the people from the main villa have the upper hand. So it doesn't even matter if the girls from Casa Amor wanted to get picked or not. If Scott wanted to pick somebody out of the lineup and bring back to the main villa, he could have. It's not like they said no, please don't pick me. Please don't pick me. No, if he wanted to pick Gabby, he would have. They didn't have the upper hand. They didn't have the choice or decision to make. If he wanted to pick Gabby, he would have. Gabby didn't have a decision to say, oh, I don't want to get picked or something like that. Or I didn't want to pick Scott. Like, be for real. I don't think they're understanding that if Scott wanted to pick somebody, he would have and could have. Because he had the upper hand to pick. You know what I'm saying? They're the most people who want to get into the villa. They're going to be that way. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to say, no, I don't have no feelings with Scott. He got upset because they kept saying that. And I think even Mitchell was just like, how wrong that is to say. Because if it was reversed, I think Sammy said it too, if it was reversed, it would be bad.
Because you decided to put a comment out there earlier about fucking no one wanting me at Casa. No, it's not true though, is it?
She's happy. I don't get what the issue is.
And understand, if the roles were reversed, it would be so bad that the guys would tell the girl, nobody liked you. And even Scott said it because I'm like, what? Yeah, if Scott wanted to get to know Gabby for real, he could have. But because he actually really liked Catherine and wanted to actually pursue things with Catherine further, he decided to just stay single and stay loyal, and that's what he did. Everybody has this thing that he didn't make no connections during Casa Amor. So basically, they're basically saying in their own words that Catherine was just the last option, the dead last option. So he's basically crawling back. And I think that goes back to where, I don't know if anybody remembers the conversation where Whitney, Catherine, and Scott was there when they were talking about how if Mehdi doesn't score with Leah, then I don't want her back. I don't want him back. Basically, that's what Whitney was saying. Like, if he doesn't shoot his shot and score, then like is a ick because why would I want somebody who nobody wants? So they basically are trying to put that on Scott. They're saying that why would everybody's trying to think, oh, he wants to be, or he's staying loyal with Catherine because nobody wants him, and basically saying that she was the last option, or that was his last resort or whatever, which wasn't true. And they're basically saying he wasn't wanted, so it's basically like an ick situation. Anyway, they showed Ty's reel of basically egging the boys on, and then all the girls were like, why is it like he's being the leader of the group, the CEO, and they were like calling the boys sheep and everything, like, oh, nobody can say anything without Scott, without Ty, giving their order and instructions.
This is jump, they say how high?
It's like dumb and dumber. Dumb. Leave nature. Like, what? That's so fake.
Hi, CEO. No one can think for themselves.
I won't lie, that was a bit mad. Master time.
So that was the only thing that the girls actually like basically clocked, because it was obviously blatant. It was like in your face. It was like Tyreek basically told Sammy what to do and he did it. Tyreek told Montel what to do and he did it, even though he was reluctant to do it. You know what I'm saying? So they actually showed that situation. So everyone's calling the guy sheep for following Tyreek's orders and stuff like that. So that's the thing. Then they showed Sammy's reel of basically talking to Mal and telling Mal like, oh, he had more connection with Mal in 3 days than he had coupled up with Jess. So Jess was actually hurt and everybody was like, oh, it was hurt. But I'm like, Sammy got off real easy, because they could have showed him when he told the boys like, oh, Jess is not even my usual type. Like, he got off real easy, because if that's the only comment that he's getting basically, I guess, called out for, because he got off easy. Anyway, he was just basically justifying the situation and saying like, oh, it was just chat, So now Jess is like feeling upset, like, oh, Jess is feeling like Sammy just basically picked me because of for the last option, or he's only picking me because Mal left. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just like, Jess, I don't feel bad for you at all. You know, Jess was obviously upset because Tyreek was like, oh, you know, forget Jess. And she was just like, oh, forget Jess? And I was the one backing you and this and this and that. So she's obviously feeling hurt by Tyreek and Sammy. So she's feeling sad. Anyway, Ella and Tyreek, I think it's really, the situation wasn't that deep for them. So, I mean, she just saying that she never kissed Uzi. Uzi backed her. So it is basically what it is. You know, we haven't really heard anything else from that whole situation during movie night. And that was basically the gist of movie night. It was very anticlimactic. Like, people were saying, oh, people were crying. What, just shed a tear because she realized that Sammy don't like her that much? Like, please be for real. But I'm just like, the girls were basically talking about how, oh, why did Scott come after Leah? Like, he was just going directly at Leah.
Like, yeah, why did he come at you?
Personal. Saying you haven't spoken for 4 weeks. This is what I don't get. I'm not gonna lie.
No, but why did he come at you?
This is what I mean.
He was so on you.
What? Because I got mad at the Montel situation, which fair enough, of course I'm gonna get mad at Montel, like it's my situation. And then I spoke up for Jess during the Sammy situation because he needed to apologise. So how are you gonna get mad at me when I've spoke up twice?
Because Leah was the one saying that nobody liked you. So when Scott and Leah, I think she pulled him to have a chat. And, you know, he was like, why are you trying to be the main protagonist, or like trying to act like you're innocent? The reason, like, did you forget the comment that you said to me before I even, you know, jumped after you? And she was like, oh, this and that, it was so rude. Da, 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 da. And I'm just like, you can't tell nobody and say, oh, nobody wanted you, nobody liked you, this and this and that, and think everything's gonna be sweet.
I want to chat to you because I'm confused. Like, how dare you, like, speak to me in front of everyone like that? I'm like, that's so rude.
Did you forget the comment that you made? No one wanted you. You just decided no girls wanted to get to know you. Do you realise what you're saying to someone? If I say that to a girl, the situation that I'm in, I'm single, and I go to you, no one wanted you.
Scott, the comment that I made,
if I say that, no one wanted you.
No, that wasn't my comment.
Stop trying to play righteous and fucking the angel in the situation.
I didn't say that.
Anyway, I think their conversation was loud enough that the other people were hearing it. So I think Montel was just like, hurry up with the conversation. So they told Montel to like pull Leah for a chat to end the conversation. And, you know, they were saying that how Leah and Scott don't even like each other. They're not even friends. So, you know, why continue the situation? And I'm just like, we're going to get back to that afterwards. But obviously, it was just Leah just keep on going after Scott and basically saying at the end, like, oh, he's just so rude. But what Scott said was just very true. Like, it was very true. It was very justified. The guy even apologized and said he apologized for how he went after it. But I don't even hear Leah even apologize to say how saying nobody liked you make someone feels. Like, do you understand? Like, there's nothing to even defend Scott, but I'm just like, yo, if somebody told you that, how would you feel? Like, how would you feel? Like, you understand the whole situation. And it's so funny because Leah was getting passed around. She went from Tyreek to Sammy. Then until Montel came in, she finally got somebody. She was trying to get with Scott. Scott basically turned her down for Catherine. And I think that's where the bitterness comes from, because he picked Catherine over Leah. I think even Katie has that whole situation as well, because, she still wanted to speak to Scott, but I don't think it's that much to the extent that she's upset too much about it. But I think Leah definitely wanted to still speak to Scott. I think if she sees back on the screen that Scott basically swerved her, pulled Catherine, and kissed her on the terrace, I think she's going to even be more mad. But anyway, I feel like the reason the girls feel, I guess, emboldened to treat Scott or talk to Scott like that is because Catherine has some type of big situation against Scott. Because if you saw after the whole movie night situation, the way Catherine was just like, anyways, Ella, what about you and your situation? She just basically how she moved, it was just like, what? They're all upset because Scott popped off on Leah, not realizing they keep on telling Scott, you didn't get picked, or the only reason that you stayed loyal is because nobody liked you in Casa More. So basically, I was just the last option, and you had to stay, single, not that you actually picked, Catherine over the other girls. And that's the thing that's basically being misconstrued on the whole situation, which is kind of crazy. Anyway, this episode is very anticlimactic. Anyways, I think I also watched After Sun. Yeah, I'm talking about the preview for tomorrow night's episode.
Mitch is a crazy, scary guy, scary little guy. I know man like him. He's that man there.
Seeing it firsthand is now mental.
He's saying mad stuff behind your back. Do you know how fucked that is, bro? That's not normal, That's not normal, bro. Like, to be using other people's names, like saying stuff, good stuff, then trying to say bad stuff about them, like, bro, that's just weird, fam.
Yeah, man like that, I think I'll bottom with a barrel, I'll be honest. Like, using another brother's name.
The boys are basically deeping how Mitch moves, because when they saw Mitch's video, everybody laughed it off and whatnot and was just like laughing about it. But now the guys are basically saying in this preview that how Mitch moves is very scary. Like the fact that he's like building himself up to other girls and to bring other guys down in front of other girls is so scary, and this and that. And I'm just like, they should have known how Mitch moved was very weird. Like how he, even though he can be entertaining sometimes, he's very messy, and the way he moves is very like, what is he doing? Anyway, the guys laughed it off, the girls laughed it off. I mean, I think somebody said that, Mitchell was very much violating the whole entire situation, but I feel like this is the first movie night where the girls don't have so much vim for the guys who did them dirty. Like, Leah is not even upset too much about Montel. Jess, she's just upset that she's the last option in Sammy's roster. Nobody's upset at their actual couples, which is just like, what is going on here? Everybody having so much vim for Scott, thinking that he didn't actually pick Catherine because he liked him. And I'm just like, what is this thing that Scott, it was the unwanted person, and he's only just picking Catherine because he's a game player? Like, where are they getting into this whole situation? And the reason is just like, what is going on here? This is very mad. This is very crazy. Like, I don't understand what's going on here. I think anybody's gonna tell Catherine, like, yo, give her a little, tip, like, hey, you're doing way too much right now. She thinks she's very much justified in how she's feeling, and I'm just like, the thing is, there's nothing wrong with you getting to know Elam, it's just how you're going about it. You can like Elam all you want, and that'll be fine, but you think that in turn of you liking Elam, that Scott did you dirty, or he was just using you the entire time, so you gotta like pay him dust. Like, at least if you're gonna get to know Elam, maybe be like, okay, well, still try to be cordial, but you really don't care for the guy. Like, you don't. Like, you don't care for the guy at all. Like, I don't even think you can really live cordially with the guy. Like, you didn't have too much of him for Sammy, even though he made you cry and didn't even want to apologize until afterwards he had to come back and apologize to you. Zach didn't even want to apologize to you after he disrespected you for Molly, but now you want to have this much level of vim for Scott. For what? You know, a lackluster movie night. It didn't really give energy. There was movie nights where movie nights go over into the next day. The fact that we're just seeing a preview of the guys basically telling, like, oh, we're going to talk to Mitchell. Like, what's that going to do? Mitchell's in his couple with Abby. I don't think Abby really cares about what Mitchell is doing to the point that she's going to stop being with him. So, therefore, what is you talking to Mitchell with? Unless he's going to end into a whole argument, I don't think it's going to be having any type of situation. Anyway, there might be a vote soon because there's way too many people in that villa. So, yeah. But anyway, guys, it was episode 30, Love Island Review Season 10. And anyway, guys, if you like the video, comment down below, let me know your thoughts, comments, concerns, and subscribe to my channel. Subscribe. Anyway, thank you guys for watching this video. Peace.